Okay, here's the deal. The job search is demoralizing. I recognize that it is a process that very few people, if anyone, has ever said to me, I'm psyched about this job search. It's hard. There's a lot of rejection. Often you don't get feedback. So your brain goes crazy trying to figure out why didn't I get this job, when a lot of times it's not even about you. It might be they had an internal candidate or a hiring freeze. But all of that aside, I think one of the things we need to do if we're in a job search, which can often feel like a vulnerable place, is we need to use this time to ask for help. I look at the job search as a social activity, and a lot of people look at it as much more of an individual activity, but the fact is it's a common activity among professionals. We're all going to be in multiple job searches throughout our lifetimes. So why do we feel the need to keep it to ourselves when we know how effective networking is to building opportunities and to opening the door to new potential roles that might be out there? We know networking accounts for up to 70% of job openings. So I think from here on out, we have to look at this as a social activity. When someone asks about your job search, as much as you might want to clam up and change the subject, this is the perfect time to say, hey, actually, here's something you might be able to help me with, and give that person a specific that they can potentially help you make a connection or give you information that might be useful. I think something else we tend to do is when we tend not to network because we don't want to be asked the question, what do you do, or where are you working, because we're nervous about answering that. But I will say, no matter where you are in your job search, whether you're employed and searching, or if you've been unemployed for a number of months, your brand is never, I'm unemployed or I'm between jobs. That should never be your response, regardless of whether you're asked, where do you work or what do you do? It doesn't matter what the question is. Your response should always be aligned with the value you bring to the market, because that value doesn't change just because you're receiving a paycheck or not. So if this is the reason that you're not getting out to network because you don't know how to answer that question, I'm here to tell you that your brand, your value, what you bring to the marketplace doesn't shift just because you're aligned with a company or not. So look at your job search as a social process. Engage those people who are closest to you, who want to help you, who want to see you be successful, and who want to see you land a job, and give them specifics on how they can help you. Because oftentimes our closest relatives, friends, neighbors, community contacts have a huge network that we're not aware of. And when we give them that ask, all of a sudden it opens the door to a connection that they can help us make. And be certain that if you're avoiding going to networking events because you're afraid of answering that question, anytime someone asks you what you do, where do you work, what's your title, it doesn't matter what that question is. Your answer should always be the value you bring to the market, regardless of whether you're employed or not. And so if you're in a job search, hang in there. I know it's difficult. We will all be going through several in our lives, and no one considers it a fun activity. But I'm here to say that you can do this, and you have a lot of people in your life who are rooting for you and want to support you. So definitely go out there and engage them.